Hello everyone and welcome to my latest video. This time we will be discussing F1 2016 ideas and improvements. I've noticed that some of the big YouTubers have actually made videos like this, discussing what they like to see in F1 2016, and I thought I'd have a go and give my take. And I'll first start off with the good stuff, because F1 2015 itself is not a bad game in some ways. I will give the AI for example. They have a go. If you're just going to dawdle, they'll try and overtake you. They're not mugs. And they do like to defend position when they can. That's something they're very good at. Unless you've got Mercedes engine and you're taking on the McLaren Honda, then okay. You're often too quick for them. Sometimes they are maybe perhaps can be a bit too conservative, like they'll give you more room than they probably should, but it's not like Project Cars where it's completely the opposite problem, where they treat every corner like it's the last corner of the last lap of the race every single time, which is just... The AI and Project Cars need to calm down, whereas the comparison maybe on the F1 by Codemasters series, you just need to, have a bit more about them, but it's in the right direction. And the AI overall, they're quite fair, you can't really mock them, and they're going in the right direction. But I would like to see the AI speed up a little bit. That's the only thing I would really say about the AI. The next thing I will talk about is the graphics. Of course, it's the best they've ever shown. It's a next generation game for the first time ever. And it's really good. Some would say, oh, they'd expect it. Well, of course, it's next gen. They've taken advantage of that. And for me, it shows where next gen's going, rather. Because if you look back to previous generation consoles, look, if you've got any of your original Xbox 360 games, any of your original PS3 games, or PC games from around 2006, 2007, look at the graphics from then compared to like 2013 when the next gen consoles came out. Look at the last games of the last generation. You will see there that the graphics have much come on, and this will happen same with this generation consoles. In fact, virtual reality is planning to be a thing for the PlayStation. I'm sure that we're the same for Xbox. VR is where it'll be all going in the end. This is just the beginning of next generation graphics. And F1 2015, well, it's a build on what Codemasters have done before, and you know what? They'll keep going on that, because graphics have gotten better in this game. The other thing I would say is the graphics are just like an F1 2010 warm. But you know what? It happened. Although that could be down to what the producers or the graphic guys, I think they said the day before the F1 2011 launch that in F1 2010 the filter they used was referred to as a piss filter, due to the fact that what you saw was quite yellowy on the screen. If you ever play F1 2010 or just want to pop it back in, you'll understand what they're on about. The next thing I would say is the physics. It just feels more realistic than F1 2014, which some have said was a bit too archaic. You guys understand that, because it felt like you still had an exhaust blown diffuser, which was weird in F1 2014, because of course they banned them. Suddenly you've got much more torque from these generation of engines, just like, that was a bit odd. F1 2015 actually feels real. You really have to master the traction. Not as much as you probably do in reality, but you do have to be careful. And it does feel roughly how these cars will probably actually sound like in real life. And you can also tell the differences between cars. Like, you can feel the difference of downforce levels. You can really feel that the balance between each car changes. You can really notice that, and that's quite commendable to Codemasters, to be brutally honest with you. Because it shows that they've been working where in previous generation consoles you couldn't really feel it. Like F1 2010 particularly, all the cars just felt the same. You know what I mean? And the one thing I say they've really aced is the difference of straight line speed. You can really tell. Put it this way, you go on F1 2015, go on the 2015 season, right? Drive a Williams and drive the McLaren. You can really tell the difference. They've really properly modelled straight line speeds. Like the Williams will always be the rock in the straight line, and Honda will just be terrible. And in that aspect, the game has to be commended. However, that's as far as I'm going to go as concerned to the good bits, because There's a lot of improvements iron, I'm sure many other people would like to see. I mean, you probably will hear on these type of videos similar sort of things coming out, which would suggest there is a theme going on, right? Anyway, for me, the first thing I would talk about, this is a minor thing really, but it's talking about the weather system. It's like, we've got situations where it is actually raining, but Jeff is telling you it will come in 10 minutes time. But it's already raining spots. It's like, hello, Jeff, it's already raining. So it needs to be more accurate, Jeff telling the driver, i.e. you, that it's raining. It needs to be more accurate, because by the time it implies it's raining, it's time to basically switch to intermediates, which is not right. And also, the track needs to be better replicated in how it looks when it's drying out, particularly drying out. Also when it's getting wet as well. It's hard to tell, particularly when you need to change over from slicks to winters and into to wet, and then the same way back down as it dries out. There's no obvious drying line, so you're just relying on total feel. And also wheel drivers, they do rely on feel, but what you see as well as what you feel. So that's an element of the game that does immediately need to be improved on, but it's a minor thing. The next thing I would say is the damage model. At the moment, the cars are too strong. They're just made out of like iron or whatever, but sorry, but cars crumple much more effective than they are in F1 2015. In fact, the cars just feel too sturdy, full stop. That's one thing I would say. With tyres, with the damage model, they feel like they're wearing, but you can't really, they don't look worn. I mean, there's no like rubber back, like you see a band of rubber going on, like graining. There's none of that in the game until you're like stopping your box or you just stop completely on track, which is not right whatsoever. So that needs to be improved on, because the damage models in earlier games were brilliant. But this, F1 2015, no, the cars are just too sturdy. The next one I would say is, I refer to the engine recovery system, or ERS, and I believe, if we're not mistaken, we were promised that we'd have another ride for F1 2015 when F1 2014 came out. That didn't happen. And also, I would like to, I mean, this is more of a future Cloud9 thing. Can't we choose our own mappings for the ERS? Like, we can choose when to have the automatic deployment of the ERS? Why can't we decide? Okay, the next thing I would talk about is the feel of the braking. Sometimes it just feels inconsistent. In fact, I'd say it's consistent at being inconsistent, because at some corners you can predict what the brakes are going to do every time. For others, it's inconsistent. It's just, some corners you're just like able to just press the brake straight down and you know what's going to happen. Others, you're literally going lap by lap. It's strange how it feels, but it's just the way it is. So I want to see some consistency. Now the brakes work. I don't want them to be consistently inconsistent at being inconsistent, if you know what I mean. Next thing I will talk about is the lighting model, which it doesn't seem to match up whenever you look at the track compared to what it would actually look like at that time of year, if you know what I mean. It looks too dark, it looks too light, or it looks too early or late in the day. And I'm sorry, but this is something that I can't excuse them, because games like Gran Turismo 5, which came out in 2010, Gran Turismo 6, which came out in 2013, and Project Cars, which came out a couple of months before F1 2015, they have real time going on. They have the sun in the right position for the right time. In fact, Project Cars even went further and did it for every single day of the year of I think it's everywhere from like 2010 or something, up in, I can't remember where to, but Project Cars have even done it for like several thousands of days. So if they can't do it with F1 games, then that's inexcusable. Because I'm sorry, right? If this is something that's been going on for over half a decade now, I would like to see in F1 2016 we have real time going on, like for European races, which typically start at 2 PM local time. But if the session like times out and gets to 4 o'clock, you should notice that it feels like 4 o'clock at that part of the world at that time of the year, in that time of the day, if you know what I mean. So I'd like to see that, because also there's been some little mods for F1 2015 where they've changed the lighting for the PC. So that's something I'd like to see worked on. The next thing I will say, the career mode. Can we have a career mode, please? It's the main thing that makes people want to play the game is let them be them, or have an escapism by having a completely new driver or something. Can we please have a career mode again? Although one thing is apparent is that is it a lighting issue, so they could have all those fancy cutscenes to the podium and before the grid and whatever. Yeah. Is that in exchange, they've basically had to give up a career mode for that to be possible. Who knows? But then I would say on the Studio Liverpool's F1 series, you could use the iToy to have your own face on the PS2, so can you really have that? As an excuse? I don't know. And that would come down to my next point, which is it's not something that will specifically affect me as a PlayStation 3 and 4 user, because I've been playing with PlayStation since 2003, so this isn't going to affect me. But there are a lot of people that like to play on the PC, and they'd like to be able to mod. For some reason, the Codemasters decided to encrypt the files for F1 2015. I don't know if this is to do with the license issue I just talked about, but modding became possible because they encrypted the files, and the only mods now that have been able to be done months down the line is because, not because, sorry, that's the wrong word. It's the only mods you can really do are like the small lighting ones, changing liveries, and that's about it. Alright, changing helmets as well, but that's, come on. Can we have more please, Codemasters? It's 2016. Like, please have modding, so that PC users can use some real extravagant career modes, or modded career modes. Like, for example, realistic damage, even something like that. That's what modders would like to see, or try and replicate. The next point I would refer to is split screen. Now, I would say with this there is a problem, because I think in an era of split screen play on any game really, it's game over, because we've got to a point in time where online gaming is so effective. What's the need for split screen? So that's something that means that I think split screen will probably never be a thing again. But for me, it's not that hard. They could do it over 15 years ago with a Dreamcast. Come on, let's have some split screen, please. Just because sometimes you want your friends there. Why have we got to a point in time where their friend needs to be at their house to play against you? But if they're here at your house, yeah. That's something I will try and work out. And, well, the last thing, well, I'll just say it till last. Glitches. This game is unbelievably glitch prone. This game being F1 2015, I should just remind us all of that. The first one is, there are too many. Way too many. Right. You can have a pit stop where you have a damaged front wing, but it doesn't actually change your wing, but it repairs your wing. And you still end up getting a 2-point whatever stop, assuming you've not been held in the box. Which brings me on to another glitch actually, where sometimes you can be forever held in your pit box, where if for some reason the pit stop is completed, but they won't let you go. And then eventually, you can't go back to the pits and abandon you. That's crazy. What's going on there? Okay. The next glitch that I noticed, which is now being fixed, is where they had a commentary glitch, where the Red Bull team would always win with Daniel Ricciardo. But for that such a basic glitch, how can that have ever been allowed to happen? Particularly because of a patch, which I believe happened, actually made this a problem. Another glitch which I saw, which I've not personally seen myself, but F1 YouTubers have posted on the internet, is that when you have tyres within tyres, if you know what I mean, where you have tyres literally dancing within another set of tyres, what's going on there? That was quite crazy. And then you start doing a jig and a dance and whatever. Another one, but with tyres, which I have personally noticed, is where the tyres change compound as they run. I mean, there was a video I did, which was the 1.6 patch evaluation, where Lewis Hamilton's tyres kept changing compound between the super softs and the soft at Russia. I mean, that's That's quite something to explain, because I assume it's much harder to have the tyres changing compound, if you know what I mean, than just to have a compound, right? I don't know if that's something to do with cars retiring and that being a problem, but who knows? Who knows? The next thing I would say is, when you look on replay cams, not cams, but the front lock that is shown is completely wrong. Like, could have too much left lock or right lock, even when steering wheel straight. And sometimes when you steer, I remember this being in the September patch evaluation video that I did, when I was playing with Will Stevens, going into the hotel hairpin at Monaco, that's 180 left, and obviously I was on full lock on left just to get round, but weirdly it was giving me full right lock, which was being displayed with the tyres. And I've noticed still that's not being fixed. It tends to be more of an issue in 2015 mode than 2014 mode, but something that still needs to be fixed. Another glitch that happened that they've had, but maybe when they fix this one is, it was just 2015 mode I've noticed this on. It's the rich fuel mix glitch, which meant you can only basically use it for a lap at most, and then it would actually slower than going in lean mix, and obviously still burn up your fuel. It was quite annoying. Maybe they fixed that now, so you can run in rich all the time, unless you're in a McLaren Honda, but it's a McLaren Honda, what do you expect? So I'm glad they fixed that, because that was quite irritating, because you can never ever show your full potential, particularly on a qualifying lap, because you have to basically use rich mix for one straight, because that's all you'd be able to use it for, which was annoying. Another glitch, I've not seen this happen to me personally, but when cars fall underground, particularly online, what's going on? What? How can a game be that glitched that cars fall underground? I think I'm going to need that one explained to me. Another one is cars disappearing on the grid. They're just, this is online, but mainly, but car you were sat on the grid, and then, lo and behold, car has disappeared. I don't understand what's going on there. Another one is where you have a set of tyres just randomly on their own, like they'll either take themselves back into the garage with no mechanics, or they end up having tyres just driving around themselves, and you'd be battling with a set of tyres, and you can go through them like a ghost car with tyres on it. You know what I mean? And the last thing I would say on that is, you can sometimes see tyres randomly left in mid-air or on the track, like when a car retires. I'm not sure, but what's going on there is just unbelievably absurd. How can you have floating tyres? That's just, I don't know. But anyway, the last thing I'd say on glitches is this front wing damage that you have. Like, you have like a yellow section, but there's nothing visual. I mean, not even like a front wing fluttering a bit more or looking a bit loose. There'd be nothing. I'm sorry, but if you're going to have a damage model, at least start by having gradual damage. Actually being able to see some sort of damage, even if it's just mindless, like the wing bouncing a little bit. That, just something, a little bit nasty. Actually, I've got one more thing to talk about. This video's going on for a while, about 18.5 minutes already. I'm going to talk about online, because online, yeah, it will keep the game going and going and going. There's been some absurd glitches where you could win on the grid, but I've seen one video where, well, not one video, but I've seen several videos of the same race, and the win's been given to two different players. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, nothing needs to be said on that. I would say that, as well, the lag is just sometimes. This game is unbelievably laggy. I've recently started playing online in it, and the lag is unbelievably irritating. I don't understand how a game could be that laggy, particularly when in the past they've done better. I mean, they've rewrote the netcode apparently, yet they've ended up with something worse. Oh dear. This game. Another thing I'll say is the hoppers. Well, the hoppers themselves can be quite fun, and they let you do what you want to do. It splits gamers between categories. And yes, you can look through all the sessions and everything, which includes the hopper lobbies, but why can't you just have a few simple game modes, but all the lobbies can be seen? Oh well. The other thing to say is something I've not seen so far, but you've had spectator cam glitching. where cars would be in the pit lane, exit, and just be flickering half between the track and the garage, and was just causing games to crash, or get to the point where people would have to reboot their game. I mean, that is not acceptable in 2015. Or 2016, which is the year we're in. And nor is desyncing, which I've seen in videos, where their field will just desync online. So you're effectively racing ghost cars that aren't there, and the actual players are having a time trial with, which is just insane. I mean, desyncing is an issue that you've seen enough from 2013, but not on this scale where the whole field will just desync off online. That's just crazy. And mostly with online, stabilise it, Codemasters, please. Just stabilise it. You'll be absolutely happy if you stabilise it. But we'll be absolutely happy. My English is making no sense. But I'm sorry if I've sounded a bit full of cold and a bit breathy, but I am full of cold. So I'm not feeling my best. So that's probably why I've not made much sense, but also why I sound all breathing. If you name me breathing, and I am sorry about that. Anyway, I hope 2016 is going well for everyone, and I shall see you in the next video. Ta-ra. P.S. Can we have a safety car and virtual safety car? Please?